mindfulness practice. I'm Aumrie here in Los Angeles, and it is a pleasure to be here with you, to be able to share this teaching of awareness and embodied presence, to invite you to slow down from the busyness of your day-to-day life and to tend to your inner experiences of thoughts and emotions, of felt sensations, perceptions. You know, there is an intelligence within our body that we often neglect, that we often ignore. There is an intuitive sense within you, a knowing, a gnosis, that oftentimes we kind of dismiss. We think it's a little suspect, and so we don't pay much attention to that intuition, that inner knowing, that vibration, if you will. And so today is the day that we're going to choose to turn towards what's occurring within, to find a sense of balance, to find a sense of composure within our daily life. And so this is a Dharma study. And you may be asking yourself, what is a Dharma study? I've never been to a Dharma study before. Well, a Dharma study is a setting where we focus on the teachings that support mindfulness and that support meditation. And so I want to encourage you to, one, hear some of the text, process it in your life. Maybe some of it resonates with you as true. And if it does, great. And some of the things that I say that occur within the Dharma study, you may say, you know what, this isn't for me, I don't get it. And that's fine. Just simply set it aside, move on. You don't have to make a big deal about it. But this is an opportunity to reflect and to pay attention to what is going on within, to find a sense of inner balance and harmony within your life. And very often we get caught up, right? We get caught up in our usual habits of doing things. We get caught up in emotions. We get caught up in thoughts. And then what happens? What happens then when you get caught up in the cycle of thoughts, especially negative thoughts, rumination, negative self-referential thoughts? That pattern that is established, right, those can help trigger anxiety. It's a sign of depression, just this constant replaying. It can lead to catastrophizing, that the worst possible result is going to occur. And we can really do some emotional harm to ourselves if that is the only way we think. And so it's useful to take some time, to spend some time to care for yourself, right? To tend to those emotions, tend to those thoughts, pay attention to see what's there. And so one way we do that is we do a formal meditation practice and attention training where we bring our attention to rest on our breath and allow the emotions to arise, allow the thoughts to arise. We don't have to focus on them. They will come up and they will start to penetrate our attention. And when we notice that they arise, we don't get carried away by them. We acknowledge their presence, but we return back to center, right? We return back to our breath. And in doing so, it's a remarkable quality in that, one, you're creating a space to contain, to meet, to hold all that is arising. That is a quality of equanimity. That is a quality of strength in life. And so if you are facing a difficult time, this is the way that you build resilience. This is the way that you build that inner strength, that inner capacity. Capacity building right here. And so meditation is the first path, and this supplemental path is the Dharma, right? These teachings of awakening, these teachings of becoming more aware. And so this is how we bring our lives back into balance. And so the Dharma is often a reminder of your nobility, that your origins, right? It is of value and it is of worth, and we can affirm your life value. We can affirm your life worth during our practice. And that's so important that we do sometimes, right? That we don't just stay caught up in thinking, oh, you know what, I'm no good. Oh, I'm not great. Oh, there's nothing wonderful about me. And we beat ourselves up and we be hostile towards ourselves and we treat ourselves so unfairly. We treat ourselves so unkindly. And then we begin to reciprocate that all around us. We begin to become the very toxin within our environments. We begin to come the very root of pain within our homes. And we're not even aware of it most of the time. It's an unprocessed, unrealized, continual cycle that will repeat generation after generation if it is not caught, if it is not made aware of, and if it is not faced. We are here to face ourselves. As the great mythologist Joseph Campbell says, that is a part of every hero's journey. The greatest fear is always to face yourself, to stare into the abyss and to see nothing but you staring right there back at yourself. That's the ultimate journey. That's the hero's quest. And so I talked to you about meditation, right? That was the first leg. The second leg was Dharma, this teaching, the practice. And the final leg is community, right? We are called to build community, to find community. The Dharma says you are to find a wise companion. And if you do find a wise companion, you should travel together, overcoming all obstacles, all danger. But it goes on to say that if you do not find a wise companion, if you do not find a sage of good conduct and character, you should travel alone like a king who renounces a kingdom. And so, my encouragement for you today is this. 1, find balance. Bring yourself back into balance. Bring yourself back into peace. Be friendly towards yourself so that you can extend friendliness towards others and build this community. And so one way I'm doing that is over at Try Flourishing. It's an online community. We talk about business and we talk about art and we talk about all these wonderful aspects of human life. We talk to entrepreneurs and investors, all those about qualities to bring to their inner life. We know that they're going to be in pursuit of success. We know that they're going to be consumed by greed. We know that they're going to be popping bottles and naming yachts. That's the kind of people that are there, right? Ambitious, type A types. But we also say there's importance to cultivating balance. And so I'm building that community. You may build another community somewhere else, right? You may find one that works for you. So I encourage you to do that, right? Find the lights that help you stay lit. All right? And so, the Dharma. The Dharma is the teaching, right? The Dharma is this teaching of awareness, of awakening. And there are a number of verses. There's not one specific book that is the complete and total Dharma. There's a series of historical texts, of interpretations, of contextualizations, of stories that help to form the canon of the Dharma. And one that we often reference here is something known as the Dhammapada, right? That is what we reference here. And so I'm going to read to you from a verse on craving, right? And it is on the chapter 24. And the verse is verse 342 and 343. And it reads like this. It says, Beset by craving, people run like an entrapped rabbit, held fast by mental chains. They come to suffering again and again for a long time. Right? That could be for eternity, sometimes it says. Beset by craving, people run about like entrapped rabbits. Therefore, one who yearns to be passion-free should destroy their craving. And so, the important things that I want to point out are immediately when you hear that verse, you may hear, passion-free. You want me to give up my passion? I don't want to give up my passion. My passion is my calling. My passion is what I'm here for. And that is not the point of the verse, right? The point of that passion-free is to remind you that there must be boundaries on even your passions. That if you solely focus on your passions and neglect everything else, you may engage in some harmful actions. If you are only focused on your passion and you forget your ethics, you may engage in some acts that are detrimental, that are painful. And so the Dharma always reminds us to have that sense of balance, right? If you are going to focus on one thing, what gets left out? What is missing? And we have to find ways within our lives to bring ourselves back into a place of harmony, back into a place of equanimity. And so it reminds us that this idea of craving is not just like, oh, I want a Snickers or something light. It is the insatiable, unquenchable quality that comes with craving. Right? And that it can grow and it can build, and that what you are consuming also consumes you. It is a reminder that there is a cycle of entrapment that is formed. That what you are pursuing, it begins to pursue you. And so if you are pursuing success, the success pursues you. It forms into greed, and greed pursues you, right? You are creating this cycle of karma within your life. You are creating an established order. And so the reminder is, one, to have a sense of balance in all of your pursuits. So it says, beset by craving, people often run about like entrapped hares. You ever seen a rabbit that's been trapped? Right? It is just bouncing back from place to place, right? Just going frantically, seeking escape, seeking release. And there is no structure, there is no guidance, there is no form there. And it says, held fast by mental chains, they come to suffering again and again for a long time. You hear this wording over and over again, this repetition, right? This repetition of words again and again. How things began again. When we focus on our breath and meditation, it is a reminder that we can begin again, right? And we have to do it over and over because we forget. We forget who we are. We forget what we're capable of. We forget our nobility. Similarly, here, we do the same thing. We forget who we are. We forget our nobility. We forget what we're capable of. And so, I would like to encourage you, anyone today who's feeling like they are entrapped, right? Who's feeling like they are ensnared, who's feeling like they are not capable of achieving, that one, you begin your practice of meditation, right? Of attention training, of focusing your attention on what's taking place within you, your interior life. And to do so in a way that is tender, right? Where you are caring for yourself, not being hostile, not being judgmental, not being careless, not just trying to avert, but really to support, to be with. That's so vital. That's so important. And the second thing is to remember these teachings. One, to remember that your craving consumes you. What you pursue also comes back at you, right? That a cycle is formed, that karma is built, that an order is established within your life. The second thing is that when we are trapped in this cycle, right, when we are beset by cravings, right, and we're running around trapped and we're chained up, right, it says, the one who yearns to be passion-free destroys the craving, right? When we find a way to bring in a larger focus, to remember our nobility, to remember our ethical life, to remember our values, we break the hold that the craving has on us, right? Where we reassert our authority over the item, over the passion, instead of being subject to the passion. That doesn't mean that we make the passion go away. That doesn't mean that we somehow try to suppress it or we abdicate the passion, but we put it in right order, right? We put it in right order where the passion isn't in control, right? That's how you become in balance and aligned to your access. And the word here is passion and craving, but the historical text uses the word avarice, right? The insatiable quality, right? The insatiable, like, there can be no other way that this happens, that it must be manifested in my life in this way, at this time, at this specific hour, or else I am going to lose it. You ever felt like that? You know, sometimes I have situations, I encounter some situations where I feel a certain type of way about it, right? I feel, I'm feeling an emotion about it, and I kind of try to just push it aside. And sometimes it builds over a period of time, right? I go back and I think about the situation again, and I'm just like, I just become more angry, right? I just become more mad, I just become more upset. I could become more hostile, and the cycle builds, right? The craving grows, the passion builds, and it grows around that emotion, right? And it's like, and it just keeps building, and it keeps building. And unless we address it, right, then it will constantly build. It will not extinguish itself. The passion will not extinguish itself. Its nature is to build. Its nature is to escalate. And so I would like to encourage you, wherever you are today, and whatever place you are in your life, to one, cultivate ease, cultivate balance within your life. Breath by breath, moment by moment. So we're going to meditate for just a little bit. We're going to find our center. Let me pull my chair up so I can sit with you as well in meditation. Place it right here. All right, and so are you ready? Let me check the comments to see if there's anybody. If you have any comments before we meditate, if you have any questions before we meditate, please drop them in the comments. If not, we'll begin. All right, let's go. Remembering our theme for today, what consumes you? What consumes you. Taking a deep breath in, inhale, and release. Again, deep breath, inhale, and release. Once again, inhale, and release. Finding a breathing rhythm that feels natural for you. Coming into an upright and comfortable seated position, one that embodies a sense of dignity and grace. Closing your eyes if it's safe and comfortable to do so. Hold this space. Maintain this container. Meet whatever arises. And tend to it all with equal measures of wisdom and compassion. As we find a form for our practice, you can allow your hands to rest gently in your lap, feeling your weight against your chair or against the floor. This is our practice. This is our moment. Your attention may have already shifted away from your breath. This is an opportunity to invite it back. Back to stillness, back to ease, back to this moment. Hold this space. Maintain this container. Meet whatever arises. And tend to it all with equal measures, wisdom and compassion. In this moment, I affirm the vision. I affirm the person who holds the vision. I affirm the values that guide the person who holds the vision. And I affirm the spark that ignites the values that guide the person who holds the intention. May abundance abound in your life. May you be met with prosperity upon your path. May wisdom increase measure upon measure. and may the greatness within you unfold wondrously, joyfully in life. Well practiced. Nicely done. Listen, if you've been encouraged by this message, I invite you to take the next steps and maintain the continuity of your practice. You can visit tryflourishing.org if you want to do some soul searching, right? Really take a look at some of the values that you hold and really take a deep dive within. All right? Well, let me tell you, it's been wonderful to be able to sit here with you and to practice with you. Don't forget, what you consume also consumes you. What you consume is also consuming you. All right. Many deep bows of gratitude to you all for your practice. Put one finger up for love if you're about love, if you rep love, if you think love is important. Put 2 fingers up for peace. Put 3 fingers up for this mindful community. That means you, that means me, that means we, all of us. Now bring it all in to awaken your heart, and may your mind be free. Many deep bows of gratitude to you all. Namaste.